Hey, this is James from Rolo Tomassi. I play the keyboards and do vocals in the band.
Cool, and how are you feeling about performing in Glasgow tonight?
Yeah, we're all excited. Like, Glasgow's one of our favourite places in the UK to play, and it's always a pleasure to come back up here.
Why is it such a good place to play?
I mean, I like the city, and we always just seem to have really good shows here. People that come to shows in Glasgow are very enthusiastic, and we got friends up here as well that I always like to see. So
Oh yeah, it's good to meet people who are up here, I guess.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'll just move on quickly into like your new album, basically, which is a collection of B-sides almost.
Yeah.
I already said to you before, like, I'm a big fan of your songs and new albums. No exception to that, but I was kind of wondering, like, why did you want to release an album full of B-sides and stuff that you?
Well, I mean, a lot of the material hasn't been available for a very long time. Like some of the early releases sold out, and some of the songs were never actually put on CD. Some of it was released on tape, some of it was vinyl only, and it had been discussed for ages to kind of put everything together that wasn't on the two full lengths, just so that everyone that wanted to had access to all of the music. Just because, I mean, there's people that might have gotten into the band in the last year that doesn't even realise we've done all this old material. So yeah, we just wanted to put it all together and kind of just make it available for anyone that wanted to hear it, basically.
Again, I'm glad you did, man. Like, Mount Celestial is like one of my favourite songs.
Cool.
I love that song. But how have you felt about the response then? Like,
it's been positive. I mean, it's cool because there's some the first three songs on it are like songs that were recorded last year after we did Cosmology. So it's not like it's just all old stuff and it's kind of people kind of having a bit of a nostalgia trip. There is kind of an indication of where we're going to go in the future with what we're doing, and we are playing those three songs from it. So yeah, it's been good, and like I think a lot of people have been happy that we've put it together, and that they can hear songs that they might not have heard before, or just had like bad quality MP3 vinyl rips of or whatever. So
yeah, laugh all the way basically.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you're saying about the future though, and you guys have just started up your own record company actually.
Yes.
And what was the decision behind that? Actually?
We just kind of we came to the end of the agreement that we had with Hassel, who put out the first two albums, and we were just in a position where we were kind of questioning how much a label could do for us, and we just all thought that we'd rather take on the work ourselves, just because we'll get out of it what we put into it, and we've got to the stage now where I think we're kind of established ourselves enough that we know we kind of have a fan base who are into what we do and will buy what we do. So we just thought we just wanted to regain control of what we were doing just fully. So it means we can set our own deadlines, we can be super picky about everything and not really have to answer to anyone. Not that we ever did with Hassel. I think it just gives us more creative control.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. To be honest. Like, one of the things I've talked about is just this sense of like companies almost taking over, and you don't exactly really need to be in a record company to be.
Yeah, I mean it's so easy to do things yourself, and I mean we're managing to exist now completely fine, and there has been a lot of interest in the two releases we've put out on Destination Moon already. We did the repress of Hysterics on vinyl last year, and then Eternal Youth this year. So it's been a good start for it, and we're just looking forward to putting out our first full length on it of like new material.
Yeah, awesome, man. But one of the things I always kind of, I think it gets everybody, to be honest, when somebody starts up their own record company, and it's usually for a band, there's always that fear of it's only going to be for that band. If you get
Yeah.
Is that going to be the case for you? Are you going to?
No, we're definitely looking to put out other stuff by other bands, and I mean Joe, our guitarist, he does remixes and makes electronic music, so we're going to be hopefully putting together what he's done and putting that out. But yeah, it's not this. I mean, it's not a vanity project. It isn't just Rolo Tomassi's label for Rolo Tomassi. We're gonna look to be putting stuff out by bands we like. Be that it just being vinyl releases for bands who they just want someone to put out their album on record, or whether we put out the CD and record of a band. But yeah, it's still very early days. I mean, we only really started the label properly in November, so we're just figuring stuff out.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you can't exactly just go into something and be,
Yeah.
perfect at it, would one of the bands be? I actually don't know if they're signed or not, but Holy State are performing. I don't know if they're signed, but I've heard good things about them.
Yeah, they're amazing. Like one of my favourite bands in the UK, if not my favourite band in the UK at the moment. Just very, very good, like rock and roll punk stuff, like quite psychedelic in places. They're nice guys, and it's just really rocking. I mean, I guess like points of reference musically would be like bands like Queens of the Stone Age, Drive Like Jehu, Hot Snakes. Yeah, they're just great fun to watch.
Again, I was asking you about music. Like you somehow, like I said, I love your music. It's sound. It shouldn't really be sound, but it's still sound. And it's awesome. What inspired you, if you get me? Like how do you get, like, I don't see, it's quite hard to pinpoint your, like, inspirations, if you get me.
You mean like musical inspirations?
Yeah, musical.
I mean, there's 5 people in the band and everyone listens to different things entirely, and I think it's a mixture of that all coming together. I mean, Joe, our guitarist, and myself write the majority of the music, and from my contribution to the band, I'm influenced from stuff like M83, Goblin, Mew, like super huge melodic stuff. That's kind of what I'm into at the moment. And then Joe listens to like a lot of classical music and jazz. In terms of like the heavier sounding stuff, like bands like Meshuggah, the Dillinger Escape Plan, the Red Chord, and it's constantly changing. Like I think what we listen to constantly changes, and because of that, the sound of the band constantly changes, and there's always things that kind of get brought into it. But yeah, there's like definitely a broad palette of music that we're all into and stuff, and it's not like we set out to make music that's kind of wildly different from anything else. It's just kind of just how it happens, really.
Yeah, you don't exactly make music to be, like, oh, we're going to change the world. You make music because you want to.
Yeah, I think if we made the conscious decision to do that, it just ended up being quite contrived and not come across as being as natural as we think it does.
You end up risking almost becoming like a Jedward thing. Or maybe not.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean, yeah.
So, it's brilliant. But yeah, one of the things I was going to ask you too is, like, I read on Kerrang! The Eva Spence art thing she'd done in like one of the things before, and she was like commenting about that, like, she's kind of become this whole, like poster girl kind of thing.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah. And like people were saying to her, like, oh, I'll give you a kiss. Oh, can I get a picture of you kissing me? And I was like, what the hell? I was just kind of wondering, do you guys kind of get a lot of those requests? And if so, like, what's been the craziest?
I think Eva in particular does get singled out quite a lot, obviously being a girl. But like, we have kids coming up to us asking us to sign stuff at shows and things, and for pictures. Trying to think of what has been particularly weird. I think like people asking Eva for a kiss, I think is pretty strange. I don't think you'd do that to any other stranger. So
I just think it's a wee bit desperate, in my opinion. I mean,
it's just kind of creepy. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so apart from just kids coming up and asking you to sign stuff, then I mean, like, is anything in particular? Like, for instance, I had this. For instance, I was in a shop in WI wrestlers, and I was going to try and get an interview with them. This one woman I was talking to got a breast signed then and there. Yeah, I'm being serious, she got a breast signed then and there. I was like, okay, there's 100 kids behind you, you might want to be careful about that.
Yeah, we've not had to do anything like that, touch wood, but yeah, no, nothing stands out in particular.
Okay, fair enough. Well, in that case then, it's like, one of the things I'm going to ask you, come back to the Eva thing anyway, sorry, Eva. It's like one girl against, 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
4 guys against 1 girl. I was just wondering, does the girl make you more feminine, or does the boys make her more masculine? And that kind of sense.
It's an interesting question. I think it's a decent balance. No one really has to change or modify their behaviour in front of anyone. We've all known each other for that long that everyone's just who they are, and I guess Eva kind of gets maybe roped in a little bit more with the boys, because obviously there's the 4 boys in the band, and then we go on tour and we have someone driving us that's a boy, someone selling merch that's a boy, and then our tour manager does sound as a boy, but we're not hugely laddie lads, so it's not like she's having to lose any femininity being around us.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good thing. Anyway, moving on though. I think actually think that's pretty much all. Oh, actually, no, there was something I was going to ask. So you guys kind of started off younger. Anyway,
Yeah.
you know, like you're pretty young when you kind of got to the level which you got playing at download in
Yeah.
2008 and stuff. Was it like any kind of regret, but not regrets, but was there anything you kind of look back on and go, oh, I wish I'd done that? For instance, like, oh, I wish I went to uni, or oh, I wish I went, you know, oh, I wish I, you know what I mean, that kind of sense.
No, I'm really, really happy with how things have happened over the last few years, and while it's taken us kind of a while to get where we are, there's nothing I would change, because I'm very happy with how things are now, and if I were to go back and change anything, that would kind of change how things were now. So, yeah, I think, like, I don't have any regrets. I think there's things we maybe could have done better, and mistakes that we've certainly learned from, but yeah, I think we're in a pretty good place at the moment, so it's all good.
Brilliant. And just one last thing, so what plans have you got, and is there any surprises for your shows?
We are playing Sonosphere this summer. We're playing Tramlines. It's a free festival in Sheffield. A lot of European festivals over the summer as well. And then we're going to begin work on our third album. We've started writing it already, but we're going to get really stuck into it and try and have a go at recording something at the end of the year.
Alright, cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Cheers.
And just one more thing, if there's a track you maybe want to introduce on radio, so like, for instance, like, if you want to like say, hi, I'm blah blah, and I'm going to introduce this track, kind of, if you got any mind.
So one of our tracks?
Yeah. Kind of.
Okay, cool.
Good to announce Celestia to make me happy.
There we go. Hi, this is James from Rolo Tomassi, and this next song is Mount Celestia. I hope you enjoy it.